This video is brought to you by the Nicholas County Historical Society. History of the Pallottine Missionary Sisters and the Sacred Heart Hospital, Richwood, West Virginia. In the year 1900, the rugged West Virginia town of Richwood was in the throes of a booming lumber and coal industry. In 1905, Richard M. Dyer donated land for a Catholic church. He was an Irish immigrant and lived on Oakford Avenue. The Catholic Church began as St. Joseph, guardian of the Holy Family. The founding Pallottine Missionary Sisters had left their home in Bremerhaven, Germany, and barely missed sailing on the doomed Titanic, coming eventually to New York State, where they learned English from the Sisters of St. Francis. The sisters traveled from Niagara, New York. Their trip over hills and valleys, rivers, towns, and country, on the trains of the day must have seemed endless, and it is recorded that they thought they had come to the end of the world. When completed, their little convent housed some odd furniture, namely 4 rocking chairs, which was an unknown luxury to them. The Pallottine Missionary Sisters arrived in Richwood in August 1912. The Pallottine Sisters came with a mission of faith and service. Their journey would forever change the face of the town. Dressed in their simple habits, the nuns were a stark contrast to the rough-and-tumble atmosphere of Richwood. Yet, their unwavering determination and compassionate spirit quickly won the hearts of the townsfolk. They began their work by establishing a place of solace and spiritual renewal. The church's warm, inviting atmosphere drew people from all walks of life, offering them a respite from the harsh realities of their daily lives. In October 1918, the sisters went to the lumber camps and villages to collect money for their convent. Traveling to the camps meant riding what was called a rail automobile, a car that ran on the tracks. One instance, while collecting funds, their rail car broke down, and the sisters spent the night in the lumber camp. Lumber camps were extremely rustic places, as the men were mobile, only temporary quarters existed, and running water was non-existent. The nuns collected over $70 during their stay at the lumber camp. The need to open a hospital surfaced early in the history of Richwood. The nuns envisioned a place where the sick and injured could receive compassionate care, regardless of their ability to pay. With the help of generous donors, fundraisers, and the tireless efforts of the local community, they built Sacred Heart Hospital. The hospital became a symbol of hope and healing, providing state-of-the-art medical care to the people of Richwood and the surrounding areas. The groundbreaking on the new Sacred Heart Hospital was on June 23, 1913, and construction was completed in 1915. The school, with its rigorous curriculum and emphasis on moral values, quickly gained a reputation for excellence. It became a beacon of hope, providing countless children with the opportunity to reach their full potential. The school and boarding house for the children flourished, and the sisters were busy serving both native-born and immigrant children. One of the nuns said, "On March 25, 1920, we bought the Holzhäuser's little house with a garden next to the convent for $1,000, to house the children, since patients and lively children in the same building did not work well. Under the name of Bishop Donahue, those lively children disturbed the peaceful atmosphere at times." The house was dedicated to the Blessed Mother and the children were placed under her protection. World War I. World War I was difficult for the German Pallottine nuns. In 1918, by order of the government, all Germans living in the U.S. had to register at the State Department in Washington, and failure to register meant imprisonment. A photograph and fingerprints of each sister had to be forwarded to Washington. The sisters were permitted to travel only with a registration card. November 11, 1918, the war was over, and the armistice was declared. Church bells rang for an hour. The sisters were glad the war was over, yet we were sorry for our defeated Germany. In 1920 prejudice abounded. People collected at the wooded area below the hospital and shouted, "Down with the Germans." When they told that the bishop owned the property, and not the sisters, the crowd dispersed, but the sisters had received quite a scare. Sacred Heart Hospital had a school of nursing in the early days. It graduated 14 known registered nurses from 1920 to 1933. In 1921, plans were made to enlarge Sacred Heart Hospital, and the right wing, an annex was completed in September 1921. This included a laboratory and X-ray department. In 1930, Sister Blum was working late in the laundry, because electrical power was very limited, as the factories needed it during the day. Surgical operations and laundry had to be performed at night. The hospital had a new mangle, which is a laundry pressing and ironing machine. Sister Blum was attempting to complete the ironing. Her hand was caught in the machine, and as a result it had to be amputated. Things were pretty primitive in many ways at this time in history. Groundbreaking began 1949, on a new Sacred Heart Hospital. The new hospital was built in 1950 on the site of the old tannery. As the years passed, the nuns' influence grew. They were more than just religious figures, they were catalysts for positive change. They worked tirelessly to improve the lives of others, advocating for fair labor practices, better living conditions, and quality education. Their legacy extended far beyond the walls of their church, school, and hospital. They inspired countless individuals to live a life of service and compassion. The story of the Pallottine sisters is a testament to the power of faith, hope, and love. Their unwavering commitment to their mission transformed Richwood into a more compassionate and just community. Their legacy continues to inspire generations, reminding us all that even the smallest acts of kindness can have a profound impact on the world. However, due to the inability to staff the facility, the sisters reluctantly left Richwood in 1988. When Sacred Heart Hospital opened in 1954, the population of Richwood was more than double what it is now. It later became a public facility, and from late 1996 to December 1998, it was managed by Charleston Area Medical Center. The hospital was renamed the Richwood Area Community Hospital. When that 2-year management contract expired, it was recommended that the hospital be closed, but the board refused. But it was determined to close the Richwood Area Community Hospital on June 2008. Although the Pallottine Missionary Sisters left Richwood, they helped establish St. Joseph's Hospital in Buchanan in 1921, and then in November 1924, the 8 of the Pallottine Missionary Sisters opened St. Mary's Hospital, now St. Mary's Medical Center, a 35-bed nonprofit facility in Huntington. Thank you for watching.